So I'm Andrew Rasiej. I'm the chairman of the New York Tech Meetup, which is a 35,000 member trade association that focuses its attention on the growing tech sector. And I'm also the founder of Personal Democracy Media, which is an organization that focuses on the intersection of technology, politics, and government. And I want to build off of Carlos's question. So Carlos asked about whether people are comfortable with the way in which things are moving. I wanted to ask everybody, how many people think that we're moving too fast? And how many think that we're moving too slow? There was a bunch of people who didn't raise their hand. So I don't know if you can see this image. The thunderbolt through a fist is actually from the Tennessee Valley Authority imagery from the 1930s when they were trying to wire the southern tier of the United States. And this is a poster from my campaign for public advocate, which I ran 8 years ago because of my belief that technology could reinvent government and the relationship people have to government. And I would like to propose that the problem we have in our city is not actually an infrastructure problem of the physical kind, but an infrastructure problem of the mental and mind. And so the basic idea behind my campaign was that the Public Advocate's Office, and those of you who don't know it, it's the second in line to the mayor. It's sort of the ombudsman for the city. That office should be reinvented not as a single person, but as a network. That there are tens of thousands of public advocates in New York who are mentoring in schools, cleaning up parks, joining community boards, helping nonprofit organizations of various kinds. They're all public advocates, but they're not connected to each other. And as a result, the single mother, for example, a single mother who has a child with asthma in the Bronx who wants better asthma care in the hospitals of the Bronx and is lobbying her city council person for financial support for that purpose, doesn't know there's another woman just like her in Queens or in Staten Island. If they were connected, then maybe their collective voices could maybe change public policy. So I ran on that platform, and during the course of the campaign, I became known as the Wi-Fi guy. And in the course of that process, I had journalists berate me for saying that the Public Advocate's Office only has a budget of $1.8 million, so there's no way that I could conceivably wire the city on that budget. And people also didn't quite understand why did we need to have all this technology, even though we had suffered from September 11th, and we were telling people if you could see something, say something, and on the subway system you couldn't actually, below ground, you couldn't actually do that. But to highlight this issue about the ability of our minds to understand this problem, when I went to the New York Times editorial board for my endorsement interview, which all legitimate candidates have an opportunity to do, I went to the 43rd Street office of the New York Times, sat in their boardroom, and made a case for my campaign. And I could not believe my own ears when I was asked, could you please explain to us what Wi-Fi is? That was 2005.
Wireless fidelity.
Wireless fidelity. So the New York Times editorial board didn't even read its own business section. By 2005, it was clear that Wi-Fi was a powerful new tool for business, for economies, growth, for education, and yet they didn't seem to understand it, or its relationship to public policy. So the reason why broadband policy is so fundamentally important to all of us is not so that we can get online and be able to Google from a park or tweet from a park or Instagram from a park. Those things are important. It's also important for what Carlos is talking about creating an Internet of Things and creating a new infrastructure for the elimination of traffic, for healthcare, for security, for all kinds of reasons that are related to more than just going online specifically to surf the web, which is how most people think about Wi-Fi in parks. And now we're starting to see it as a tool for business. But you have to think of it as literally a completely new transformational platform for the transformation of our society, economically, spiritually, culturally, emotionally, professionally, you name it. And every country in the world is thinking about this faster than we are. And if we don't convince our public policy makers how much of an imperative this is, to break up the duopolies of the major telcos and cable companies that have basically bifurcated our infrastructure to make money while our children have to pay $90 a month for broadband in their communities that they can't afford. we are not going to move this country forward to be able to achieve all the other goals related to healthcare, security, economic growth, et cetera, that we're all fighting for. So I brought this up just to remind everybody that this isn't a battle about wiring old buildings. That is an issue. It's about rewiring people's minds about how much this is an imperative.